Hey guys, my name is Justin and welcome to Hillsboro, where we care about the design behind design and luxury. And if you do, make sure to subscribe! For today's video, I wanted to talk about a new collab that kind of just I guess in a way it kind of came out of nowhere, kind of. I've seen hints of it on social media and just through online browsing. But I think now is the first time I've actually seen really good images and videos of it, and it is the Baggu Collina Strada collab. I would say in terms of how this collab relates to me, it's interesting. I'll put it that way. I'm not the biggest Baggu user. I mean, I have a nylon bag, but this is from Uniqlo. Wait a second. Oh, all my bags are missing because I've been playing dress up. Also, I don't have anything from Collina Strada. It's that very maximalist, fantastical reimagining of what Y2K actually was from this very absurdist viewpoint, which I love it and I appreciate it. I just don't really have a need for it. I mean, I know this isn't really that shocking in a way, so I'm it's not really the best example. But yeah, that's actually a good example of I don't really wear this stuff, but I do appreciate it. And I do know that some of the, what is it called when it's oh, I do know some of the brand values that Collina Strada has are actually very nice. They're very good. The clientele from both of these brands is very parallel. I do think it's nice that assuming that the prices are going to be friendly, Collina Strada is making things that are just even slightly more affordable for people, which I always love whenever brands do that, whenever they make things more accessible to the masses. I always think that's such a smart move, because I think the idea of luxury is often even designer, right, is very much closed off. It's about limited, which I mean, I'm sure it is going to be limited, but now it's not limited because of money. It's going to be limited because of attention, passion, people willing to wait, people willing to line up to get whatever from this collab. Okay, so the first thing I want to note is that I do think it's really interesting that the main release of information in a way is this kind of influencer marketing. The first person that I saw it from was Mandy Lee from TikTok. Love her. She's great. She gives a really good analysis of fashion and things like that. And I guess other brands have been doing this in terms of big luxury houses. They've been doing influencer gifting and things like that. I'm used to more traditional ways of PR outreach when it's images and maybe even videos coming down from the brand or even third parties, but then to have the third party be a personality, I just think it's so interesting coming from here, because it is a little bit more niche, a little bit more specialist. So I don't know how I personally feel about it. I'm glad that Mandy was one of the people who did it, because she actually, I think, has perspective when it comes to fashion. It's not just enjoying fancy stuff. But now let's actually talk about kind of what we can see from the TikToks, and then I want to go through some of the images as well. So Mandy was gifted the freaking horse-shaped bag. I'm okay, so Collina Strada is appealing to horse girlies this summer, which is fabulous. Love that. In terms of Baggu, the structure and the shape of their bags doesn't really excite me, and I think that's probably why I'm not super drawn to them. They do the crescent bag, they do messenger bags, just these kind of standard shaped bags, which is fantastic. But I do think that in terms of construction and structure of different types of bags, this horse bag that she has is phenomenal. There's something about it that's just very stupid. And I think if you know me, if you know me intimately, which I think all of you do. But if you know me well, you know that stupid bags are my passion. We'll talk about the Instagram too and whatever other images and see how all of this marketing and how all this hype is relevant together. But yeah, the horse is so stupid. And I love that they gave her a little hay bale. That's so stupid. This is why I love Mandy Lee. She cares about the details, and with fashion, it's all about the details, right? So she shows off the hardware, which is this weird squiggly, almost looks like a weird squiggly picture frame, buckle for the strap. With Baggu, it's more standard kinds of things you see. So having something to already elevate it using that hardware, fantastic. And then on top of that, that kind of like canvas strap or whatever, like it's a nylon, having it say like Baggu Collina Strada, great as well. I think sometimes like when brands don't acknowledge the collab in some of the more like mundane things, it's not as exciting. So they have some of the more like typical Baggu shape, like the shopping tote kind of thing, the shopping bag. It's great because then you can really clearly see the patterns. This bag that has like the puppies, and then I don't even know what kind of flower this is. It almost looks like a fake flower that they made up. I doubt it is though. But like I think it's so funny, like this composition of different prints, like it's very on brand for Collina Strada, but just like no, this puppy one is so funny. I don't know, I don't get it. Maybe that's why I find it so funny. I will say the highlight for me is the tomato print right here. It has like a bunch of like roses and then these like really ugly heirloom tomatoes. It reminds me of Loewe make like a little clutch in the shape of one of these like heirloom tomatoes. Beautiful. I feel like this is almost like, I guess, the summer of tomatoes, because then this Baggu bag also has these like really ugly tomatoes on it. This is the highlight for me. Yeah, I think these like psychedelic types of scenes, that's what Mandy calls it, so that's what I just said. Mandy said it, so I said it. These kinds of like psychedelic, like composition, like it's almost like what I imagine Photoshop was possible before Photoshop happened, right? Like you're really just superimposing images and like creating these weird mashups of things. It almost feels like you're asking like AI to be like, hey, mix this and this, and then this is what it does, and it's like very like uncomfortable, or rather visually appealing. There's something about it that I can't stop looking at it. We can briefly talk about this Alec guy's TikTok as well. I think he got mostly some of the same stuff. The one difference is he got like a crescent bag, but it's all in black, and then it has the weird like squiggly. Everyone shows it off really nicely, which I'm very grateful for. If we're gonna be honest, I think he kind of lost out, because that horse bag is that's the one. That's like it. I want that. But then he goes through some of the other Baggu bags and he shows some of the patterns a little bit. Not great. I'm like, didn't they gift this to you? Shouldn't you like look through it and like show it off to get people excited? Or maybe they're like, oh, you can only really show a few items off. So I don't know. I don't know the rules. I've never gotten a PR package, and I also don't want one because you can get taxed for it, and I don't make any money off of this. So maybe one day. I think it would be nice to kind of scour through the internet, right? This is what I'm doing for you guys. So now like diving into like Baggu's Instagram. The first one is like a look at their bags. It's almost like a cargo bag with like some like a utilitarian like flat pocket, still with the picture frame kind of buckle thing, which I love. These look more like Collina Strada prints where it's almost like unrecognizable stuff. And see, okay, remember I mentioned like there's Horse Girl Energy? They have just a picture of a horse and also a picture of a horse's butt with Baggu shaved into it. I'm just like imagining PETA being like, animal cruelty, they hurt that horse by branding him. But like not branding with heat, branding with a branding. But in general, you can see like it seems like they're pretty standard shapes. I don't know. I admire an affordable statement bag. I think there's something to be said about like having something crazy that's like decently affordable. And I like that it doesn't only rely on print. Like they use the hardware and they use some of the details to like kind of set itself apart. And swipe. Okay, so here we can see like a little bit of more of a close-up of the actual like detail of the buckle. It's weird. It's like little devil horns. I don't know, I don't get it. I love it, and I wouldn't wear this bag, but like, I appreciate it. Next, this one is just a girl spinning while holding a bag. You can't really see much, but it's inspirational. Little boss, it's a little horse. It's just like a card, picture of a little horse. It's curious. Let's pause here. This image is 100% why I think like this like idea of like Gen Z marketing, like this appealing to like absurdity and almost like not a focus on the product. I mean, it's all very strategic in any case, right? Like it's brand marketing, it's brand positioning. You're positioning yourself as something unusual, something more casual, more friendly. And it builds up into like brand perception, right? But the way that they're doing this is so funny. It's like they opened up just so that they can view a picture and it's this girl cross-eyed with like the only recognition that it's Baggu is right there, and you can't even see anything that says it's about a collab. So I think that's great. So I think in general, like the marketing for this collab is very interesting. I think I'm gonna take back what I said earlier. I think it does make sense for them to like stay in these kinds of niche spaces. Like you only know it's gonna be there if you follow their Instagram, if you follow these TikTokers who I know Mandy's style kind of like meshes with it to a certain extent. I think in general, like Baggu, their quality is seen as like pretty decent for what you're getting. And the fact that you can elevate it with like some fun, I wholeheartedly approve, and might even see like what's going on with that horse bag, who knows. I do think this is one collaboration that makes sense. And then I think if it matches, you should definitely be excited for it because it looks like it's gonna be a good one. Let me know what you guys think. Are you a fan of Collina Strada or Baggu? I feel like that's such a weirdly vague / specific question, but I want to know if you've been looking forward to this, if you knew about this. But yeah, the release date is June 25th, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, so I don't know what time that is for me. Plus 9 hours, 10 plus 7 p.m. or something like that. Whatever. But that is all I have for you today. So if you like this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. Lets me know that you like this kind of content, that you too care about the design behind designer luxury. So, okay, bye.